Okay, going to do a little playthrough of Battle Pages. And in Battle Pages, you are essentially protecting your kingdom from a wave of enemies that's going to work its way across the land, using your dice to determine the enemy locations, to mine gems, then in turn spend those gems to build heroes and warriors and structures, place them on the map, and protect yourself from the wave of enemies and the boss. Your goal is to survive all 6 waves of enemies and defeat the boss before your kingdom is destroyed. Each turn you're going to roll dice to determine the threats, gain gems, mark units. Threats will start in column 1, work their way all the way to column 6, and the boss will attack from any space on the map. To start the game, you're going to roll 3 evil dice to determine your enemies. 1, 2, 5. You place them in their rows. This determines that there's a gnome thief this turn, goblin archer this turn, and a red dragon this turn. Next turn, we're going to deal with the next column and work your way from left to right. I have a gnome thief. Targets all adjacent units. When spawned, remove 1 gem from your inventory. So you would cross out a gem. I don't have any. Targets all adjacent units would mean directly orthogonally adjacent. It would deal 1 damage to them, anything that's in those spots. It takes 2 hits to kill it. And if I do not kill it, it deals that 1 damage also to the kingdom. And that's sort of your life for the entire game. Goblin archers deal 1 damage. Target the first unit reached in all diagonal directions. So each diagonal direction from there, it's going to hit the first unit in all directions. Takes 3 to kill it. It has 3 damage to kill it. 3 defense. And then the red dragon deals 2 damage to everything that it hits. Targets all adjacent units. If it gets through and is not defeated, it's going to deal 2 damage to the kingdom. If an adjacent space is empty, place an X on it. So it's going to kind of burn these adjacent spaces if they're empty at the end of the turn. And it also has flying, which means I can only attack it with my units that can attack flying. So my hero can, my archers can, and my catapult can. It has 4 defense, so it's a tough one to beat. So let's say we're going to try to take down that dragon this turn so we don't get 2 damage to our kingdom and all of our land scorched. So what I'm going to do is roll all my dice. And with your dice, you are building runs. A run is 2 or more of either the same number. So these 2 5s, if they're placed on the map next to each other, that's a run of 2. You could also have a run in sequential order. So each one of these columns is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where a 4 can be placed anywhere in the 4 column. As you place them in runs, you gain gems. So my run of 2, I would gain 2 gems. I would circle them. Now I put down the 5, I gain 3 gems. I'd circle 3 more. Put down the 6, and now I gain 4 gems. I could put down this 5 here, and I would gain 2 gems. And then I'm left with this 1 that I can put anywhere in the 1 column. I don't gain any gems because you need 2 or more to gain gems. But that was my first roll. I get 3 rolls. So I'm not going to place these yet. I'm going to re-roll these 2, which gets me another 6 and another 3. And I'm going to re-roll them 1 more time because I'm hoping to get a 1 through 6. Nothing. I got these 2 4s. So I'm trying to stop the dragon. I'm trying to gain gems. I'm trying to place units. There's a couple things that you're thinking about right now. If I want to stop this dragon, I need to hit it with a catapult. Catapult targets any enemy in a straight line or diagonal line. So if I can get it somewhere over here, I can hit that dragon with the catapult. It only deals 1 damage, but +1 if it attacks from mountains. +1 to its attack. So I can hit for 2 if I attack from the mountains. So if I have enough gems this turn to build 2 catapults, I can take out the dragon. So I can think about that. I also have these 4s, which I can place here, and it's going to get me a whole bunch of gems this turn. So let's just place them one by one to show you how you get gems. Place, I get 0 gems. When there's a pair or a run of 2, I get 2 gems. So that's my first 2 gems. Place the 5, I get 3 gems. I place the 6, I get 4 gems. I place this 4 and I get 2 gems. And I place this 4 and I get 3 gems. So I just placed, I gained, what's that, 14 gems this turn. It's pretty good. Your heroes cost between 1 and 6. And I want to put as much out as I can to stop these things. So now I'm going to build some heroes. Like I said, if I put 2 catapults in the mountains, I can kill that dragon. And a catapult here can also, this one, can hit that gnome thief. So I might be able to take out both of these with a single catapult, and I'll show you how all that works. This goblin archer needs 3 to be defeated. So I'm gonna first build my catapults and see what happens. So if I go here, 1, 2, 3, I'm gonna actually read this through to show you how it works. So I've done the first step, which is placing my evil dice, my good dice, placing dice and mining gems. So I placed my dice, I gain gems based off of them. Now I'm going to spend gems to build units. I can build units in any open spaces. Open means not covered by a die and not already marked with anything. Choose a unit I'd like to build. So I want to build a catapult. Cross out gems equal to its cost. This one costs 5 right there. Write the unit's letter adjacent to any good die. So I'm gonna write it adjacent to that die right there. So it's just a C. And now I'm going to decide how many charges this catapult has, which is essentially how many uses or hits it can take. So if I just remove 1 die, I give it 1 charge, which means that catapult can be used once. The dice that you remove have to be adjacent to each other, so I could remove 2 dice and give it 2 charges. I could also remove 3 dice and give it 3 or 4. So just, I can do up to 4 based off of my dice placement here. I'm going to go with 2 so I can hit this dragon and maybe hit something else. So these 2 dice are gone, my catapult's there. I'm going to build another one here, which cost me 5, because I want this one to be able to hit that gnome thief. I know that I'm using it to hit this dragon. I know I'm using it to hit that gnome thief. That's 2 charges right there. I'm going to give it 3 by removing all 3 of these so I can potentially use it one more time. That leaves me with this one. I have 4 gems left. They'll carry over to the next turn if I don't use them. I can place adjacent to it. The only thing I have left to defeat is this goblin archer. And I don't think there's anything I can do to build 1 unit that can defeat that goblin archer. This is out of range, it's not gonna get attacked, but it'll be there for next turn. So I'm gonna spend the gems, it's 4. I'm just spending all my gems this turn. Build a warhorse, and it only has 1 charge, and it's essentially there to help me later. And that's the end of the spend gems, build unit phase, and the next phase is called battle. So in battle, each evil die will strike starting from the top, the topmost, so the lowest number, down to the highest. So the first thing is the gnome thief. It targets all adjacent units. There's none. When spawned, remove a gem from your inventory. We would have already done that. So it's going to do its attack, and I also have a chance to do my attack to hopefully defeat it. So this catapult, which gets a +1 attack from the mountains, attacks for 2. And they attack, diagonal or adjacent or straight. So it can hit that. It hits it for 2. The gnome's thief's damage is 2. I mean, its shield is 2. Its defense is 2. So I just defeat it. If I didn't defeat it, this would deal all of its damage and then also damage the kingdom for 1. So it doesn't deal any damage. I killed it before it did its thing. It's gone. That did cost me a charge on my catapult. Goblin archers. I can't hit them from diagonal. I can't hit them with my warhorse. I can't do anything. So the Goblin Archer targets its first unit in all diagonal directions. There are none. And then it would deal 1 damage to each of them. And it deals 1 damage to the kingdom because I can't stop it. And then it goes away. And then we've got our Red Dragon. It has flying. I can only attack with... I can't attack with my warhorse. I couldn't reach it anyway. But I have my 2 catapults. So both of them attack. This one attacks it, hits it for 2. This one attacks it, hits it for 2, which brings it down to 0. So the dragon doesn't get to do its thing, which is scorching the land, defeating my units, and damaging the kingdom for 2. So first turn, I took 1 damage to the kingdom. I used up a little bit of my catapults, used up all my gems, and I would go into the second turn.